as the Bears 17-14. And welcome to the Bills and Dolphins. Joe Robbie Stadium. I'm Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cephalo. We're scoreless in the first quarter. Football moving pretty well, but got stalled by a holding penalty. Back Buffalo on one, but they now have it. Second down and less than one at the 42 of Miami. 5.5 left to go here in the first quarter. Mueller's in motion. Thurman Thomas. Another first down. Jimmy, they're just running at will.
Well, that's the spot where the Dolphins are in the most trouble. They've got this huge offensive line, the Bills do, and Miami, without the two starting middle backers, because of holdouts, Alfredo and Brown aren't in there, and that's the soft spot in the defense. Talking to Marv Levy yesterday, he said to us, why should we throw the football? May as well run it. That's not what got us here a year ago. The fans in Buffalo wanted a more exciting offense. But hey, it got them to the AFC Championship game, and Marv Levy is not change now.
First and 10 Bills inside the Miami 40-yard line at the 37. Andre Reed goes in motion. And they give it to Thurman Thomas, and we have a flag down. And look at Thomas find the open running room. Down to the 25-yard line, but remember, a flag is down on the play. Thomas was finally brought down by the rookie Louis Oliver. Boy, he gives you a lot of quick little moves, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's got great start-stop ability, does Thurman Thomas. They haven't been using that fullback spot very much over the past couple of years. Mueller is a really good running back, but Thomas will take it that way. He likes the big guy in front of him.
Offside on Jeff Cross. They'll decline that penalty.
Take a look at the middle of that Dolphin defense as we've been talking about it. Wow, I could run through that thing, and I'm a bit older than Thurman Thomas is. A huge gaping hole.
Well, let's not get carried away. You really think you could have got through there?
Hey, I'll tell you what. If I had my shoes on, I could have walked through that thing.
Thurman Thomas, 881 yards last year, and he's off to a great start this year. He's reading again, and this time the Dolphins stop him short as he gets inside the 25-yard line down to the 23. Tackle made by T.J. Turner, the left defensive end. Thomas looks like he wants to come out of there right now. This is the 12th play of the drive as he heads out in the heat here at Joe Robbie Stadium, and he's been used a lot.
Well, Marv Levy said to us yesterday as we take a look at the scores, the 4 o'clock score.
The 5-yard line. Try to trigger it in there for Burkett after he had about an hour and a half back there in the pocket, and then the flag over the top, presumably on Judson.
And that is not a penalty that should be charged to William Judson. Yes, it was a flag, and he was in the wrong, but he was trying to hold Burkett off for maybe 4 or 5 seconds. It's simply too long. Now, there's no question about the call. It was on Judson, an obvious penalty, but there's simply too much time. A defensive back has to get some help from the linebackers and the up front people to get to a quarterback. Take a look at this. The play is completely over, but Judson has got to keep on Burkett, and an obvious penalty.
Well, they call it holding inside the 20-yard line, which is where the ball's marked now. The 19.5-yard line, 3:35 left to go. First quarter, no score.
Inside the 20-yard line a year ago, the Bills, as Kelly takes the timeout, were extremely conservative. They got a great field goal kicker, and they don't want to go to the problem of trying to turn the ball over. And so if Scott Norwood wants to kick it through, they'll allow it.
So Marv Levy looks like his team is ready to cash in. We'll be back to see if they do after this. Join NBC for more great NFL football beginning at 12:30 Eastern with Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, and NFL Live. Then NBC presents regional coverage of some great hard-hitting matchups. The Dolphins and Patriots will square off in New England, and Eric Dickerson will lead his Colts into L.A. to battle his former team, the Rams. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. NBC football, it's a whole new ball game. It's a scoreless game here at Joe Robbie Stadium, but Buffalo is knocking on the door inside the 20-yard line. Kelly will throw. Oh, Ronnie Harmon can't hang on at the 12-yard line. He was open and might have had a lane to the end zone, too.
He got a mismatch. You wound up one-on-one with Rick Graff. The Dolphins, knowing that the Bills do not throw the football usually inside the 20, came out, and that was the problem. Take a look at it. Graff trying to chase down the running back from the inside, and he has no inside help. The linebacker from the other side getting over a little bit late. That was Greg Clark, number 60. Hey, you can't give a running back like Harmon that much room one-on-one against the linebacker.
Now, they've had trouble inside the 20-yard line. They've said that. Does that become a little bit mental when they get inside here, that they say, hey, we have trouble scoring inside here?
Well, as Jim Kelly told us yesterday, he hopes they open it up. He said, but hey, if we can kick the field goal through with Norwood, I'll take it.
Mueller's the only back in the backfield. He gets the ball on 2nd and 10. And the Dolphins had an awful lot of traffic there. Tackle made by T.J. Turner, and Paul Langford was there too, as Jamie Mueller is brought down just shy of the 15-yard line. It seems the way the Dolphins defense that plays, they just had a lot of people in the area.
Well, for the first time, that front line of the Bills did not blow them off the ball. They pulled the backside guard and tackle around the front, but they have been moving that Dolphin defense throughout this first quarter.
Dolphins getting some late substitutions in. Runs in quickly to get back into the defensive backfield. It is 3rd down. It is 8 yards to go for a 1st down. Kelly back into the end zone. Andre Reed's open, and he cannot pull it down.
That is perhaps the best pattern to run against someone like Langford. He's a long strider. Andre Reed got him going to the post. Take a look at it. Top inside part of your screen. He gets him going one way, and because Langford's got those long strides, he can't react back to the corner of the end zone. And Kelly just a little bit off, having to lap it over Paul Langford.
Spot comes at the 25-yard line. How good is Scott Norwood? He was 32 out of 37 last year. His punter, John Kidd, holds for him as he attempts a 35-yard field goal to give him the lead. Right down the middle. 35-yard field goal by Scott Norwood, and the Buffalo Bills take the ball from their own 1-yard line, go all the way down the field, but like last year, they settle for a field goal and have the lead.
This buzz for you by Mitsubishi Motors, who invite you to come see the full line of cars and trucks. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice. And by U.S. Navy. You are tomorrow. You are the Navy.
Scott Norwood has it up on the tee, ready to go. Jimmy, 91-yard drive by the Bills, and they lead 3-0. 34-yard field goal by Norwood.
And they accomplish more than just putting 3 points on the board. They keep Dan Marino on the sideline. This is the prime topic of discussion in that Buffalo Bill offensive huddle. They want to run the football down the Dolphins' throat and try to keep Marino standing next to Don Shula.
Norwood kicks it. Mark Logan, who ran for the Bengals last year, running for the Bills this year, for the Dolphins this year, and running well. Out over the 35-yard line, out to the 38. And Marino and the Dolphins will come out onto the field. 2:23 to go in the first quarter, down by a field goal. Jim Donovan, Jimmy Cefalo with you from Joe Robbie Stadium. A 34-yard field goal by Scott Norwood for Buffalo has them in front 3-0 as Marino and the Dolphins have their second possession of the game. But as Jimmy said before we broke away, they've been on the bench a long time. Out of the tight end spot, the catch is made by Farrell Edmonds, and he brings it out over the 40-yard line. Quick toss by Marino. That's one way to get away from that big rush, is to just dump it off quickly.
It is, and Edmonds didn't release from the line of scrimmage right away. He stayed in a little bit to help the tackle on his side. Then he released downfield, and Marino hit him with it right after he broke the line of scrimmage.
We're tied. Houston, Minnesota 7-7. Philadelphia leading Seattle 7-0, and the Patriots on top over the Jets. Big hole inside Buffalo territory. Troy Stratford. And the Dolphins get a first down. He's finally brought down by the inside linebacker, Ray Bentley, 50, but Stratford had some room.
Well, the man he's following was Tom Brown, the youngster, the fullback. Well, take a look at the fullback there, leading through the hole for Stratford. Gets a good block from the guard on that side, and then Brown mops up on Talley coming over to try to make the play. Brown has been on injury reserve for the past 2 years with a bad knee injury, and he's come back to earn the starting spot just a week ago, the last preseason game of the year.
7 yards for Stratford on that run, and a first down for Miami. And they go back to him. This time, rather, it's Ron Davenport, his first play of the game, and Davenport spins down to the 47-yard line. Darryl Talley lost his helmet on the play as Davenport comes back in. That's what he did last year. Shane Conlon and Talley in on the tackle.
The idea for the defense of the Buffalo Bills is to get into the offensive lineman and hold on to them to allow the linebackers to make the play. There you see the whole linebacking crew, including Talley. He loses the helmet, but he's not too concerned. But those defensive linemen get into the offensive linemen and hang on to their jerseys. In that sense, the linebackers of the Bills are the most important part of that defense. They scrape and get in to make a tackle.
Second down and 8. Short drop again, and a great block by Art Still, who got his left arm up in the air and batted down the Marino pass.
Well, at 6'7", he didn't have to go that far up into the air.
Boy, he got up there and just knocked it right back.
Well, his greatest ability is against the run. He may be the best defensive end against the pass rush that there is in the National Football League right now. To take a look at him, what happens is that the tackles are taught to get into the legs of a rushing defensive lineman when there's a quick pass like that. That way they've got to put their arms down. They can't block the ball, but still able to get that one claw up in the air.
So it's 3rd and long again for Miami. 3rd down and 8. Marino fires, and it's almost intercepted by Shane Conlon. He had it and dropped it. Conlon saying, I had it and held it. The official says, no, you had it, and it hit the ground, Shane.
Hey, he doesn't get a chance to intercept many balls. He's going one-on-one with a wide receiver who's sitting in the backfield, and Jim Jensen. One-on-one, Jim Jensen has got to beat Conlon. I mean, there's a difference of about 40 pounds in size. But that time, Conlon flows right into the play and undercuts Marino. And that could have been a big one if he'd been able to hang on to that.
So Reggie Roby is in for his second punt of the afternoon. He stands back at his 39-yard line. Errol Tucker stands back at his 10 for the Bills. So they almost got that one. Leonard Smith almost came up with the block. Fair catch called for. And the Dolphins cannot pin it before it goes into the end zone. It's a touchback. A 47-yard punt and no return. 7 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, and the Bills get the ball at their own 20, leading 3-0. Lead. Scott Norwood kicked a 34-yard field goal only 7 seconds ago now here in the first quarter.
Take a look at Ballard, number 75, as he comes out of the huddle. 6'6", 325. He wears a size 16 shoe, and he wears a size 46 pants. And that entire offensive line, the small guy is Tim Richard, 51. He only weighs 280.
Larry Kinnebrew makes his first carry of the season for the Bills. Boy, he's a story. Sat out all of last year with the Bengals in a contract dispute, signed with Buffalo, and is back on the NFL scene at the end of here at Joe Robbie Stadium on opening day for the Bills and Dolphins. 3-0 Buffalo in the lead. Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cefalo.
How about this big offensive line of Buffalo? You know, they talked about how big they were, how big they wanted to get. Jim Richards, a small guy, only weighs 265 a year ago, 280 now. You know how he got up that high?
Good nutrition, right?
Oh, he and Smirlis were drinking some kind of a concoction with 15 egg whites, 40 ounces of skim milk, 8 ounces of yogurt. They put it all together with some fruit, and they called it a frappe. Football players should not be drinking frappes, okay? You can call it a milkshake, you can call it a bomber, but not a frappe. Anyway, it put 15 pounds on the guy.
Second down at 6 for the Bills, and Thurman Thomas running for a first down and a lot more. Out over the 35-yard line to the 36 where Greg Clark chased him down. And Thomas had a good first quarter, and there's Clark, and he's huffing and puffing, and he's off to a good start, is Thomas, here in the second quarter.
Well, when running backs sit down in the offseason and think about things they'd like to have happen in the next year, one of the things on the list is always, please let me play against the Miami Dolphins, because this team simply has not been able to stop the run over the past couple of years. And now Thomas has got that huge offensive line in front of him, a good blocking tight end, Metzelaars, and he has the potential to have a real field day today.
And please let me play against them when they have all of those people missing from their starting defensive lineup, too. 1st and 10. Nice fake by Kelly. Dropped it at the 5. Look at Kelly. And what will Reed say to him when he comes back to the huddle?
He won't have to say anything to him. You know what you do? You go to the sideline. You say, Coach, I'm a bit winded. Let me get out of the game. It depends. See, when it was me, I'd never go next to Shula because Greasy was a nice guy. He wouldn't say anything. But here, he gets this one going. A nice play action fake. And Langford got caught looking into the backfield. When you're playing against Andre Reed, you couldn't care less about the running play, especially when you got man-to-man. and Reed, the All-Pro, simply blew it.
Now, as a former wide receiver, do you wince a little bit when you see that? Is that nightmare type stuff?
No, I'm glad somebody else did it too. You know?
So they start all over again, and Ronnie Harmon skips through a big hole and goes out over the 40 to the 44. Lewis Oliver in to make the tackle.
There's never been a wide receiver who has not done that. And in that sense, you feel for him. But sometimes I look back and think, gee, if this guy made the Pro Bowl, you know, it gives pause to thinking back on my career if I dropped a few.
Well, the Bears win on a late rally, 17-14 over the Bengals. 49ers win. Dallas shut out over New Orleans. Boy, that place was roaring today in the Superdome. Quick handoff up the middle, and it's stuffed. Harmon gets the carry once again over the 35-yard line, and the Dolphins were there. Oliver comes up quickly to make the hit. Let's check out the rest of those final scores. Rams win. Tampa Bay off to a good start as they beat Green Bay. And Phoenix wins on an Al Del Greco field goal with 13 seconds left in the game. Beating the Lions. That run and shoot offensive. Mouse Davis didn't run and shoot much today. They're tied at the Metrodome, and they're tied at Veterans Stadium. And the Patriots jumping out big over the Jets, 14-0. Killebrew in motion, and then drops right back into the backfield. It is 1st and 10. Oh, look at it again, a lot of time. And nowhere to throw it. It was in the direction of Flip Johnson down at the Miami 40-yard line, but well over his head.
Kelly's been getting all kinds of time today, and that continues to put more pressure on the Miami Dolphins defensive backs. If they're going to be effective today against any kind of passing attack by the Bills, they've got to put pressure on Jim Kelly.
Now, they've talked about, Kelly has talked about himself. He wants big plays, and Marv Levy wants big plays, too. They've really been close on 2 big plays. Andre Reed cannot pull the ball down in the end zone on their first drive, so they settle for the field goal. And then the big drop down at the 10-yard line.
Well, Ted Marchibroda, you can't draw it up any better. The great play action fake with Kelly. But Reed, he won't drop many of them. That's a play that he'll think about for a long time.
Killebrew fighting and losing the battle right there as Miami shuts him down. Greg Clark playing very well here early. Makes the stop on Killebrew, and he's tough to bring down.
Clark is an undersized guy, is a Plan B free agent that the Dolphins picked up from the Bears a year ago. But he would not have been in the starting lineup, of course, had it not been for John Offerdahl, the All-Pro. As we look at Tom Olivadotti, he's been really trying to push this team into shape. And the blame cannot be placed on Tom Olivadotti's shoulders completely because he is playing without the 2 best performers he has, in Mark Brown and John Offerdahl.
3rd down 8. Ball is at midfield. Kelly out of the gun. Flag is down, and Kelly going down unloads the ball. And Rick Graff gets the crowd going. That's a really unusual sight to see that kind of pass rush from this defensive unit.
Well, once again, the defensive backs of the Dolphins are doing a pretty good job because Kelly had lots of time initially, but he had to start moving around in that pocket. And it was the blitz by Graff, number 99, coming from the outside. 4th down. Kelly had one-on-one with the wide receiver on the slot, Flip Johnson, initially, but he didn't quite have the time to get it over to him. Initially, though, that Buffalo Bill offensive line has been given more than enough protection. People like Graff are surprised nowadays when they do get to a quarterback.
John Kidd's first punt of the season. And Troy Stratford ready to take it back for the Dolphins. Bills lead 3-0. 2nd quarter. Stratford misjudged the ball. He ran up and had to go back and get it. And a nice return as he spills out of bounds into the Buffalo sideline out at the 29-yard line. And that's where Dan Marino and the Dolphins will start. Stratford's been a busy guy running the football and trying to get things going here at Joe Robbie Stadium. And Miami playing a very inspired game so far, especially defensively. They're down 3-0. And now they're trying to get their offense turned into gear. 1st and 10, just shy of their own 30-yard line. Marino for Bruce Hardy. He makes the catch, but it's only a gain on the play of about 1 yard. All right, let's go to New York and Bob Costas with this NFL Live update. Thanks, Bob. Buffalo leading 3-0 over Miami. 10:52 left to go. On 2nd and 8, Marino, he's got his man. Farrell Edmonds Edmonds with the catch. A flag goes down at the 45-yard line as he goes up to the 50, and he's brought down by Darryl Talley. We'll check out the flag. Crowd says it's against Buffalo. 20-yard pickup. Here's Jerry Markbright.
Number 56, defense, penalty decline, first down.
Darryl Talley going up against Farrell Edmonds. Edmonds is 6'6" and 252 pounds. He grabbed him right before the ball was thrown. And in fact, while the ball was in the air, but Edmonds, such a big target, has improved his hands immeasurably because the Dolphin training staff has found a way to improve his vision. That's a story we'll be developing as the afternoon goes along.
Brown and Stratford make up the backfield. They give it to Stratford. Good cutback, and gets inside the Buffalo 45 to the 44, where Bruce Smith and Leon Seals are in on the tackle for the Bills.
The Dolphin training staff has started doing some kind of a vision test for each player. They found out that Farrell Edmonds had poor vision. He wasn't able to pick up the football as it got real close to his hands, and they put him in some kind of a computer that's actually a video game to force him to use the muscles around the eye to get an object from point to point. Because of it, he's improved his pass catching skills immeasurably. That play against Talley a year ago, he would not have made.
6 yards on the run by Stratford, 2nd and 4. Well, the Bills were coming there. Stratford slips through and gets up near a first down. It looked like they had a blitz on there, Jimmy, reading maybe that the Dolphins would pass.
Well, this game so far has gone along as planned, but the Dolphins seem intent on trying to run the football. They did this in the early part of the year, a year ago, but they found out their offensive line just wasn't strong enough to do so, so Marino had to put it up in the air.
Vikings lead by 7, still tied at Philadelphia, and the Patriots lead in the second quarter over the Jets. Other games, the Raiders and Chargers tied. Jay Schrader is lost to the Raiders now at quarterback as he goes out with a separated shoulder in that one. 3rd down and 1, and a good push by that Dolphin offensive line, and a first down for Stratford. And a little extra activity too. Uh-oh, Ronnie Lee going up against Nate Odoms in there. Was it Odoms?
It certainly wasn't. And Odoms is saying, no, forget about that. Ronnie Lee is a big man.
I think he might have been going up against Jeff Wright, and Odoms came in to make peace between the two.
I know, but tell me about it. Don't swing at him. The guy just punched me, and I'm not going to penalize him because you guys are fighting.
Okay, we just heard what an official says to a guy when he doesn't throw a flag.
Well, Jerry Markbright said, I know, but that guy punched me. Take a look at it. Ronnie Lee is the right offensive tackle. Try to pick up the end of the play. He's on the ground.
Stratford's got it. And a pretty good coverage by the Bills as they come in. Ray Bentley makes the tackle. The ball is down at the 35-yard line. So Marino with the quick fire, and Bentley makes the catch. Stratford brings it down to the 35, and then Bentley brings him down. 8:19 left to go here in the first half. Jim Donovan and Jimmy Cephalo from Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami, where the Bills lead 3-0, but Miami marching. 2nd down, 6. Brown and Hampton down the backfield. They go to Lorenzo Hampton, and boy, look at that defense. Nate Odoms. And the crowd wanting a flag thrown on Shane Conlon for the extra hit.
But Jerry Markbright has got to step in and take control of this thing. It's starting to get into a free-for-all with Ronnie Lee taking a swipe at somebody. And Jerry Markbright, what he said was, hey, I just got punched. You know, hey, self-preservation, Jerry. That's not such a bad thought. I agree with you.
Well, I'm glad his mic is off now. If he's getting ready to blow that whistle, or he'll blow us right out of the booth. It's 3rd and 6. The ball at the 34. Miami's all spread out on offense. They bring in that rookie out of Miami, the free agent Andre Brown, 82. He's in the slot on the bottom of your screen. Again, a cadence right there. He might have pulled him off, and it's caught by Brown. First down, Miami, with a flag down.
They're going to decline, first down. Offside, number 78, defense. Penalty decline, first down.
Take a look at it. Brown, the wide receiver who's getting single coverage all day long because Cooper is the one the Bills are concerned with. Here he's going man-to-man against the defensive back. A nice diving catch. And the cheer you heard here in the audience, a couple of reasons. One, because of the catch, but also because Brown is a local University of Miami product.
Ron Davenport checks in at running back now for the Dolphins as he flanks Dan Marino. It's 1st and 10 at the Buffalo 22. 6:43 left to go, first half. Miami trying to get on the board. This is for Duper. Down to the 1-yard line.
This time, the Dolphins get one-on-one coverage up top. It's Odom's going against Duper. This is just a great reaction on the part of Duper. The ball was underthrown by Dan Marino. And a receiver's job there is try to decoy a defensive back when he sees the ball is underthrown. Duper did it as well as anyone.
The best passing offense with maybe the best throwing quarterback in a long time. 1st and goal, Stratford. Touchdown, Miami. If you give Marino enough opportunities, he's going to start to burn you. And he marches them up the field, and then Stratford booms in from the 1. And the rookie, Stoyanovich, connects for the extra point.
You know whose name we've not mentioned so far as the defensive back is Lewis Sheik, the man we said had to go against Smith all day long. This offensive line of the Dolphins doing a good job getting underneath. Dolphins take the lead.
The new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. By Coors Light, pure brewed in the Rockies, the silver bullet won't slow you down. It's the right beer now. And by Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
.48 left to go. First half, Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cephalo, Pete Stoyanovich, the rookie out of Indiana, ready to move into the ball. The Dolphins lead 7-3. Short kickoff. Errol Tucker takes it at the 10. And the Bills wanted to improve their return game this year. They weren't that good at it last year, and they bring it out to the 30-yard line. Let's go to New York. Bob Costas with this update.
All right, Jim, and I'm sure your partner Jimmy Cephalo can appreciate the work over the years of this one. Steve Largent, in his final NFL season, latches on to his 98th career TD reception. It's one shy of the all-time league record held for 44 years by the former Alabama and Packer great Don Hudson.
You know what's interesting about that? Steve Largent, we'll get to it right after this play.
Ball is caught by Thurman Thomas out over the 30-yard line to the 31. Short gain. That's only going to pick him up about 3 yards as the Dolphins have found a pass rush.
And it comes in the person of Rick Graff. Getting back to Largent, in a survey of defensive backs and general managers around the league, they were asked to pick the best wide receiver in football, and the winner was Steve Largent. You might not think that. Jerry Rice, of course, was in the mix. So was Al Toon. But that's what the rest of the league thinks of Steve Largent.
Walt Corey, the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. His team and unit just were scored upon by the Miami Dolphins. Second down at 7. Andre Reed in motion. Ball is at the 33. Kinnebrew. 35-yard line. And I'll tell you what, the crowd is into the game right now, trying to pull the Bulls right, trying to pull the Dolphins right through.
Well, one of the things the Dolphin players talk about, the difference between Joe Robbie Stadium and the Orange Bowl, this stadium was not as loud as the Orange Bowl was, because the Orange Bowl, the seats were right on top of the field. Here on the sidelines, they're further away, and it took a while for the players and for the crowd to get involved in it. As you see, a lot of empty seats here at Joe Robbie.
But listen to them on 3rd and 5.
It's a small crowd, but they are loud.
throws for Harmon. There's a late flag down in the Buffalo backfield. Let's check it out with Jerry Markbride as Kelly is interested, and it's against the Dolphins. Kelly comes up talking to David Fry and slaps him on the backside. Here's the call.
Roughness against the passer. Number 53, defense, first down.
Well, maybe he got a little bit too pumped up. And that's a big one because instead of having Buffalo punt, they get a first down, and they're at the 50-yard line. He doesn't like that. Look at the motions out to the officials.
But notice, Shula gave Fry the business, and then he turned around and gave the official the business. He's going to cover both sides of this question.
Buffalo with a big second life on this drive. Reed to the top of the screen. Flip Johnson to the bottom as Kelly sets him up 1st and 10 at the 50. That's McKellar, the tight end, in motion. Great fake again. Incomplete at the 5-yard line. Flip Johnson going up against Judson. There was a lot of contact there.
That was a similar play that we saw earlier with Reed dropping the ball. He, this time, was on the other side of the field and was wide open. He got man-to-man coverage. Remember I mentioned before that Duper tried to decoy the defensive back and then made the catch? Let's find out if Flip Johnson, the youngster, does the same thing. He sees it underthrown, but he looks back too soon, and that's what alerted Judson to the play. The fans here in the stadium wanted some offensive pass interference, but they don't get it. But as a young wide receiver, he's got to learn not to turn his head back too soon, because that will alert the defensive back.
Kelly is 4 for 9 for 30 yards, and he's 2nd and 10 here. Safety valve to Thomas. And a short gain to the 49 of Miami. Judson chases Thomas out of bounds, and it will be 3rd down and long. The Bears win, so do the 49ers, and Jimmy Johnson's debut as an NFL coach with the Cowboys is a nightmare in New Orleans. Rams, Tampa Bay, and Phoenix on a late field goal all win. Second quarter, Vikings lead, and the Eagles have moved in front, and the Patriots are laying it on the Jets. 21-0. Raiders now by 7 over San Diego. The Browns jumping out over the Steelers, and Denver leading Kansas City. 3rd down and 9, and Joe Robbie is alive. The stadium and Joe Robbie. Big hit by Louis Oliver, the rookie out of Florida.
For years, the Dolphins have been looking for a safety that can intimidate in the backfield. And that's exactly why they drafted Louis Oliver, number 1.
John Kidd is very good at putting the ball out inside the 20-yard line. He only had 2 punts go into the end zone last year for touchbacks. And he'll try and hem the Dolphins in now. A flag is thrown, and the catch is made by Jarvis Williams. But remember, there's a penalty flag down. 37-yard punt, no return. Dolphins say that there was an illegal man down the field, and that's the call. Now, are you surprised at the intensity level of this crowd here today?
Very surprised. This has been an off-season or a preseason as well as an off-season. The fans have.
We have 2 fouls on the play. We have an illegal receiver downfield on the kick. Number 84. We have holding number 25 on the receiving team. Penalties offset. 4th down again.
And so we'll kick it over. But this crowd and the Miami fans have been a bit disgruntled, both with the organization, with the ownership for not signing those holdout players. And so I'm very surprised that the crowd here today is as loud as it is. The players have been complaining in the past that this Joe Robbie Stadium was just not as loud as what they were used to in the Orange Bowl.
But again, the win total is not as big as it was in the Orange Bowl. It seems as though they had a lot more to cheer for when they were playing back downtown Miami. So we do the punt over from the 49-yard line. Kidd ready to put his foot into it. Fair catch called for. Williams runs away from it. It's a touchback.
the number one choice of the Dolphins, who is in camp. This is why he's here. Take a look at the end of the play. Lowers the boom on Ronnie Harmon, and that's a sight that most Dolphin fans had not seen in the secondary for quite a long time.
6'2", 226 pounds. He can really come at you with a lot of size. 1st and 10 Dolphins. Stratford on the run, and Stratford's been good all day as he has gotten himself back into the starting lineup, won that position, scored their touchdown, and they lead 7-3, and he gets the gain out to the 23-yard line. 2nd down, 7.
This Buffalo Bill defense, however, much heralded, the 4th best defense in football a year ago, the best in the AFC, and you really can't count them out. They're going against Marino, and right now you've got to say that it's a success, because as we head down toward the 2-minute warning at the end of the first half, he's only scored 7 points, and against Marino, that is an accomplishment.
He's 10 for 14 for 100 yards passing. And he's in a passing situation. Stratford had it, and it leaks out. Bailey on the coverage. The left outside linebacker, Carlton Bailey, makes the hit on Stratford.
Anytime a team plays against the Dolphins, their running backs get a lot of man-to-man coverage because you got to double team Duper and Clayton when he's here. But Stratford here going against Carlton Bailey gets the man-on-man coverage. Bailey forces him to the inside, but it is a catch that Stratford has got to make. Although Marino was a little bit inside with it, that is a catch that Dolphin coaches expect Stratford to make.
Stratford's had 2 drops today. It's 3rd down and 7 from the 23. Almost a high snap. Did they read that play or what? Bruce Smith is right there on that little shovel toss to Stratford. And Roby coming onto the field. Smith heads off. Job done. Well done, too.
That's called the old Utah draw. It's actually a pass. So if the ball hits the ground, it's not a fumble. It's an incomplete pass. The teams put that in against players who like the big upfield rush. And Bruce Smith can certainly do that. That time he was coming on the inside. The play was dead.
Reggie Roby stands back at his 9-yard line. Coming up to the 2-minute warning. So they won't get the punt off right here. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Along with Jimmy Cefalo. Buffalo will get the ball back. Should get pretty good field position too, Jimmy, and they'll try and get the lead back as they trail 7-3. That's Errol Tucker ready to take it back for the Bills.
There's been so much pressure placed on this Bills team this past year, and you know what it was like in Cleveland a year ago as you do so much of your work there. When you expect a team to win a championship, the pressure on the players can be extreme. It happened to the Browns a year ago, and now Marv Levy has got to try to tone some of the expectations of the Bills fans with his club.
Yeah, when you're picked to be the team in the AFC, and the Bills are picked to be one of those teams that will contend all year long, you come out a little bit tight, I think, sometimes.
And on the other side, Don Shula, the great competitor, although he has very little to lose in this case, 0-4 in preseason, lost 10 of their last 11 games.
Low snap, but Roby handles it. Tucker takes it on the run. And they have very good field position inside Miami territory at the 46-yard line. Steve Tasker almost got in and blocked that punt from Roby. It ended up as a 34-yard punt, a 13-yard return. Say next Saturday, NBC Sports keeps pace with baseball's pennant chasers on the Major League Baseball game of the week. Most viewers will see the Cubs try and stay atop the NL East when they battle the Pirates. Others will see the powerhouse Oakland A's take on the Boston Red Sox at the fabled Green Monster at Fenway. It all starts with Major League Baseball, an inside look right here on NBC. 1st and 10, Kelly. Down by 4, connects with Thomas, and he runs out at the 36-yard line of Miami and close to a first down. He'll be shy by about a yard.
And Kelly can use his entire offense here. 1:43 left in the half. Good field position. He does not have to rely completely on the pass. You would expect from what in the past the Bills have done, they would go back to the running game here. They've got a couple of timeouts left, and that conservative nature of Buffalo with a good defense, they'll settle for a field goal. If there's no need to panic, and Marchibroda won't do that. He certainly has enough experience in this league.
Coming up at halftime, scores and highlights with NFL Live. Jim Kelly wants to give them some more highlights as he goes inside the 30-yard line. The ball is caught by Thurman Thomas. There's a flag down as Rodney Thomas makes the hit on Thurman Thomas. That would be good on the catch for a first down for the Bills inside the 30. 1:32 left to go here in the half. The Bills have 2 timeouts left. They used one early when they got down deep in Dolphin territory.
Face mask foul, number 24, 5-yard penalty.
All right, tack on an extra 5 as Rodney Thomas got his hand stuck in Thurman Thomas's face mask. Only a 5-yard penalty. And the ball inside the 30 at the 20, inside the 25 at the 23-yard line. Burtett goes out top of the screen. They've got double wideouts to the bottom. Flip Johnson and Andre Reed as Thomas runs, and he's got a seam. Another flag goes down at the 15-yard line. Jarvis Williams tackles on the play. Let's check it out again. Holding, it looks like, against the Bills. So at halftime, Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, scores and highlights from week number 1 around the NFL.
Illegal hands to the face, number 70, offense, first down.
And that is the veteran Joe Devlin. They've moved him inside to a guard position this year. He'd been starting at tackle since 1977 for Buffalo. Pulling around the corner along with Ballard, you can see why the running backs, Thomas and Harmon and Davis for the Bills, are enjoying playing against that, or playing with that kind of a beef up in front.
Kelly, not a big yardage day, but he's just missed on a couple of big pass plays. So he goes back to the well. He's got Reed. Incomplete in the end zone. He not only had Reed, but he had Flip Johnson there, too.
Well, Johnson got a little bit too close. They had 4 wide receivers going straight down the line. And what you have to do if you're the inside receiver, you see, you can't get any farther than the numbers. If you're the outside guy, you got to stay outside to leave enough room for the quarterback to fit it in. But in this case, it was Johnson who got a little bit too close.
He has been close 3 times, though, to connecting for touchdown scores. As we watch him, and he knows, oh, boy, just missed again. 1:18 remaining. First half, second down, 15. Shotgun formation. Screen pass right down the middle. Thomas has blockers in front. And buries his head inside the 15-yard line, and he gets down near the 12. And that should be a first down with 1:08 left.
That's a great call by Ted Marchibroda. Now we'll be back in just a moment with Buffalo.
Jim Kelly trying to get his Bills into the end zone just before the half runs out.
Now the general rule in this situation is to try and save that one last time out to get the field goal team on the field. I've never seen a situation where a team has successfully gotten the field goal team on the field as time was running out. Most coaches will keep that last one ready.
4 wide receivers, 1 back in the backfield with Kelly. That's Thomas. Andre Reed makes the catch inside the 10-yard line. Clock continues to run. He didn't get out of bounds as Rodney Thomas is over on the coverage. He's going to yell it out to the team as they come up to the line of scrimmage. 50, and it's running. Trying to get things sorted out. Harmon comes down the line of scrimmage to get into a slot off the line of scrimmage. Kelly throws, and an immediate hit right away by Jarvis Williams. The ball is picked up by Rodney Thomas. Are they going to rule fumble in return, or are they going to rule the play dead? One official was standing way back at the 6-yard line. Rodney Thomas scooped up the ball. Kelly and the Bills offense heading off. Here's the play.
Here it seems like he's struggling for a little bit of more yardage. The ball does come out before he hits the ground. But look at the play here by Will Wolford, number 73, the offensive tackle for the Bills. If he doesn't hustle downfield, Thomas is gone for a 94-yard touchdown. But now with just 32 seconds left in this half, it was Wolford who saved the score for Buffalo.
Jim Kelly and the Bills have been close, but they have not been able to punch it in except for a field goal. And Marv Levy, that's tough just before the half. You're guaranteed of getting 3, and you turn the ball over like that.
Well, he told us that he doesn't like that conservative label. He rather call it smart football. And he's starting to throw the football inside the 20, something that was not done in the past. Take another look at it. The ball obviously comes out before he hits the ground. The defensive back is underneath him. There's no way he could have touched the ground. And here is the hustle, though, by Wolford. Here's a 275-pound man running down Thomas along the sideline. If not, it's 6 for Miami.
Boy, he smacked him right on that helmet. Incidentally, that was Jarvis Williams that got in there, came up from the safety spot to separate the ball from Reed. Marv Levy, head coach of the Bills, takes them to the AFC Eastern Division title last year. They lose the conference championship game in Cincinnati. Dan Marino talking it over with Jerry Markbright. 32 seconds left in the half. I think they are reviewing that play on instant replay right now to see if indeed it was a fumble. That's why we have the holdout. Our instant replay official today is L.T. Bonner. And the officials wait for the ruling.
After further review, the play stands. First down, Miami.
Inconclusive was the ruling from the replay official after they viewed it. So it stands as a fumble recovery for Rodney Thomas. And with 32 seconds left, Marino goes up to Jim Jensen. Jensen immediately calls a timeout inside the Buffalo 45 to the 44-yard line.
Again, that's Jensen getting the man-to-man coverage with a linebacker underneath. In order for the Dolphin offense to progress, he's got to get open against that one-on-one coverage.
Miami with 2 left as Marino comes over to talk it over right now with Don Shula and the offensive staff. So now they're at the 45-yard line, 26 seconds left. You've got 2 timeouts left, and you've got a guy that really can zing the football.
Well, Marv Levy on the other side knows, as you take a look at the Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson will be there at halftime with all the scores and highlights. Marv Levy on the other side of the field knows that they've got a young kicker in Stoyanovich, the rookie out of Indiana. They're going to play a lot of deep zone here, try to force Marino to go underneath. They'll settle for forcing Stoyanovich to try a kick from 40 yards away. They just don't want to give Marino the opportunity to throw the ball down the field successfully.
7-3. Dolphins lead. Stratford banged in from the 1-yard line after the Bills jumped out on a 34-yard field goal by Scott Norwood. And Miami looking to tack onto it after a big fumble recovery by Rodney Thomas. Gave them the football. This is for Duper, and he juggles the ball at the 20-yard line. I'll tell you what, Jimmy, as you look at Marino down on the ground right now, and he had an elbow injury earlier this week, and we'll watch him get up right now, and everybody around Joe Robbie Stadium holds their breath. But Duper could have been called for pushing off on Nate Odoms down there on that pass play.
It was a similar play that we saw a bit later, but let's take a look and see if Marino, what the injury is. It's hard to tell. Looks like he just got spun over by Smith. But it was a very similar call earlier when Duper was underthrown and Odoms trying to come back to the ball. Did not make the play. Duper coming up with the catch. But I'm a bit surprised that Duper had the opportunity to catch something down the sideline.
So with 20 seconds left to go in the half, 2nd and 10, Marino, the arm obviously feeling okay. Looks fine here. There's the flag. As Duper and Odoms were stride for stride down at the 12-yard line.
Take another look at it. Again, this is the 3rd time that Duper's got the opportunity for one-on-one with Odoms.
Number 37, defense. Automatic first down.
And an obvious call as Odoms beaten on the play and the ball a bit underthrown again. Marino has not been on target deep today. Odoms reaching in with the right hand before the ball arrives. But again, the surprise there is that Buffalo allowing Odoms to take care of Duper one-on-one. Clayton is not in the football game, not in uniform today. Not much time left on the clock. Why not play the deep zone? Try to force the Dolphins to play underneath.
12 seconds left to go here in the half. Ball is at the 12. It was a 34-yard pickup on that penalty. Changing the play, it appears now, as Jensen comes over to Marino's left. At the 5-yard line. They're going to have to use a timeout to get that field goal kicking team on, I believe. I think they're ruling maybe that the pass was incomplete. They are. They're ruling that the pass was incomplete. Marino and the Dolphin offense is heading to the sideline anyway, and the rookie Stoyanovich will come on and try and kick the field goal.
Well, if that's the case, then the Dolphins should have that timeout left. They have 6 seconds left on the clock, and that's right on the borderline of trying another play or not. Shula decides to go conservatively and give his young kicker a chance at the field goal.
From the 19, out of the hold of Scott Seacools, the backup quarterback, Stoyanovich will attempt the field goal.
And as you can see, the ball does slip out. A good call by the officials.
Officials timeout right now. Are they going to check this play out on replay? It appears as though that's what the official was pointing, that he was going to get a call from L.T. Botter up in the replay booth. In the meantime, that jittery rookie has to wait to try and kick that field goal. Here's the play again. Marino firing down to the 5-yard line.
It's a good point. Take a look at it, though. The ball comes out right before he hits the ground. So he does not have the grasp, the complete grasp of the football.
6 seconds to go here in the half. Stoyanovich won the job, going 2 for 6 in preseason. Fuad Revez came up injured again in training camp. 3 years of miserable injuries for him.
Revez only had the opportunity to try 1 point after touchdown. And so the job was really given to Stoyanovich by default.
And this is to give Miami a 10-3 lead at the half. It's good. 29-yard field goal for Pete Stoyanovich. An 8th-round draft choice. And it's 10-3 Miami with 3 ticks.
At this point, he does. The Dolphins were 0-4 during the preseason, and today they come out, play very well defensively. That's been the key to the Dolphins so far. They're stopping Jim Kelly in a lot of ways, both the running game and the passing attack. But they also have to be happy with what they've done offensively. They have not run the ball extremely well, but when they have run the football, they have gotten good yardage out of it. Don Shula is businesslike at halftime. He doesn't do a lot of yelling and screaming. That's generally a reserve for high school and college. Here's what I mean about the effective running. Just a 1-yard plunge, the score by Stratford. That gave the Dolphins an early 7-3 lead. But the big key to this afternoon's game has been the battle between Odoms and Mark Duper. Duper has guaranteed a win. He infuriated the Buffalo team by in the media saying, I guarantee we're going to win the football game. Here, the big interference call by Odoms against Duper, that set up the Stoyanovich field goal and the Dolphins in a 10-3 lead.
All right, let me plead Nate Odoms' case just for a second there. What did he do wrong on that coverage? It looked like Duper had the arm on the back of his shoulder there.
Well, he didn't do a lot wrong. I'll tell you, Duper first got the initial separation. The ball was underthrown, and Odoms made the mistake of sticking his right hand across Duper and touching him on the shoulder pads. And anytime an official sees that, he's going to throw the flag, and it's going to be defensive interference. Usually the officials will side with the wide receiver.
Buffalo has just missed on some big plays. The halftime numbers, and it really is, as we were saying, pretty even Steven, the numbers.
The one that jumps out at me, rushing yardage by the Buffalo Bills, 83 yards. But Thurman Thomas had 11 carries for 51 yards in the first quarter. And then he didn't touch the football again. They kind of shut him down. It seemed that the Bills were not sure of what kind of a game plan they wanted to use in the second quarter.
Because early in the game, that running game was wide open, taking them up the field. And then it appeared as though they decided, well, we better start throwing the football. Now, as I said, they have just missed on a couple of plays. Andre Reed's been open once in the end zone. Kelly overthrew him a bit. Then a big drop down at the 10-yard line, too.
By Andre Reed, wide open. And actually, Kelly couldn't be faulted for that. That should have been a score for Marcia Broda and the offense of the Buffalo Bills. But they said they were very vanilla-like in offense during the preseason. They did not want to show the Dolphins a whole lot of their offense. Coming in today, Jim Kelly said, gee, I would like to throw the football more if it means we win. But here they're throwing the ball a bit more, especially inside the 20, but they're down 10-3.
So we're underway, and Errol Tucker takes the ball and brings it out to the 26-yard line, immediately noticing that Stoyanovich does not get the ball that deep on the kickoff, or at least has not done it today. He does get it very high. It's a lot of hang time on his kickoff.
He does, but that can be a dangerous opportunity for you. You want the ball as deep as possible because the receiving team can always call for a fair catch, and right now they didn't get much of a return, but still at the 27-yard line.
Now, Miami played a very inspired effort defensively in the first half. Can they keep that up? This man doesn't want them to. He wants to get his team right back in the lead in this game. They trail by 7, 10-3, Jim Kelly and the Bills. And Thurman Thomas. And as we talked about, that running game that was there early in the game starts the second half off, and he gets a good chunk over the right side.
Jim Richer in this offensive line has done very well. The offensive left guard, take a look at him coming down, blocking down, pulling around the corner. That's a lot of beef up front for him. He helps on the nose tackle. That's Brian Sauché trying to make some heads or tails out of it. But you would think that Marcia Broda went in at halftime and said, wait a minute, why did we go away from that running attack? Thurman Thomas agrees with him.
Second down and 6. The ball out at the 32-yard line. That's Andre Reed in motion. And they go back to the running game again, and Thomas has a first down as he bangs out to the 40-yard line, and Jarvis Williams makes the tackle. So Thomas, busy man early in the first half, and then as Jimmy said, he disappeared. Now starts off the second half running the ball the first 2 times, and they get what they need. They get ball possession, they get a first down, and they bring it out to the 40-yard line. 64 yards on 10 rushes for Thurman Thomas. He ran for 881 yards last year. First and 10. They had a blitz coming from the outside, and they sack him. Jackie Klein comes in, but they were also sending, I believe, Lewis Oliver. One of the safeties was blitzing in too.
They sent everybody. They sent 7 people on the play against Kelly, and they picked it right. Kelly coming with the pass play, grab from the outside on the right, but you're right, it was Oliver coming from the left side. They sent him through the gap, and he's the one that gets to Jim Kelly. Excuse me, it wasn't Oliver, it was Jackie Klein, but Oliver coming certainly opened up the gap for Klein to get to Kelly.
And if you could see, Oliver jumped up. Remember, he's 6'2", so he even got up higher, and that made Kelly hold on to the ball a little bit more. Second down, 17, loss of 7. Incomplete across the middle. Andre Reed has had a tough afternoon. He got drilled by Greg Clark.
Well, this is a play that Tom Olivedani, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, told us about. They like Andre Reed, the Bills do, underneath on the coverage. So a linebacker on a pass play is always going to be looking for Reed coming across. This time it's Greg Clark, number 60. Take a look at it. The pick play by the tight end Metzelars, but here comes Clark. Forget about the football. He went right after the receiver, and he's fortunate that a flag wasn't thrown on that play. But the ball simply went past the receiver, and Clark able to make the hit.
So after 2 good running plays, a big sack, now an incompletion, has them in 3rd down and 17. And Kelly completes it, but he's short of the first down. Flip Johnson, and Kelly likes Flip Johnson a lot. He told us that yesterday, that he thinks he'll be a very good one. Makes the catch, 15 yards on the play, but they needed 17.
Yeah, that's the big mistake by a young wide receiver. And Kelly's talking to him about it. He's saying, hey, look, guy, we need 17 yards. 15 doesn't do us any good.
Jarvis Williams is back deep along with Troy Stratford. They settle back at the Miami 15-yard line. John Kidd is into punt, standing back at his 32. Miami's defense continues to play inspired, as that Jackie Klein sack of Kelly really unplugged that opening drive by Buffalo. 10-3. Miami in the lead, and they're going to get the ball back. Good high punt. Fair catch by Jarvis Williams at the 6-yard line, and it will be 1st and 10 for the Dolphins there. 12-11 left to go, 3rd quarter. Miami in the lead.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Levi's 505 and 506 jeans. And by Armor All Protected, because we're crazy about cars too.
All of those people waving at Jimmy Cephalo. 1st and 10, Miami from their own 6-yard line. Stratford in a lot of trouble. Great penetration. There's a loose football down on the ground. Bills have it. Cornelius Bennett has it. Shane Conlon got in there and knocked the ball away, and then Cornelius Bennett scoops up a Stratford fumble, and that could take the air out of your balloon in a hurry.
Well, this is exactly what the Buffalo Bills rely on, that their defense is strong enough to take it away. Take a look at it. What happened to Bennett all day long? Well, they get the dive inside. That's Nate Odom's helping out with the spin move. The ball bouncing around from Stratford. And eventually, it is Cornelius Bennett, number 55, who comes up for it. And how disheartening for the Miami Dolphin defense. After playing extremely well, they're now stuck deep down inside, and the officials are going to take a look at this one.
Well, Conlon was there, but as Jimmy pointed out to you, Nate Odoms was the guy that really ripped the ball loose. Boy, he was ripping away at Stratford, too.
And that's what a good defense will do. You have to have confidence that the guys behind you, if you go after the football as a defensive player and you're the first one to get there, that the guys behind you are strong enough to mop up if you miss it.
So we get another review. Let's take a look at it once again. As Stratford, that was their first play from scrimmage here in the second half. They're at the 6 after the great punt by John Kidd.
See the great play by Conlon overrunning Brown, the fullback. And then Odoms takes over to try to swing. He's going right after the football. That's what he's grabbing for.
Now they're arguing, or Miami will argue, that Stratford was down on the ground, then the ball came loose.
They might also try to argue that the defensive player dove in front, but from my point of view, that looks like a fumble to me. Again, it's got to be overriding conclusive evidence.
Well, Nate Odoms hopes that the verdict goes Buffalo's way. And the shot before that you saw, Don Shula was talking with Dan Marino, getting him set for what he hopes would be a second down play, and they wouldn't turn the ball over this deep. There's Conlon with the penetration. There's Odoms, 37, with the rip. Conlon almost had it. Bennett did. And it's down at the 2-yard line if it stands. What's he doing to that mouthpiece?
Well, he's working on it. You know, he's got one fake tooth right in the middle. He's missing a tooth in front. And for years, he looked like the real prototypical tough linebacker. You know, here's a guy from Penn State, a smart guy, and he'd take that tooth out, looked like, you know, he walked out of a Freddy movie.
You know, when he came on as a rookie, Bennett, of course, and Conlon figure in this, but when Conlon was taken, he started the year an outside linebacker. Then when they worked the deal to get 55 Bennett, then he went back inside. It's been a great move for his career.
It certainly has, and he's bulked up immeasurably. When he came to our meeting yesterday to talk to us, he looked so much bigger than I ever remember him. He bulked up to play the inside position.
Jimmy, this one's taking a lot of time.
Well, it's a difficult call because
two quarterbacks out there on the field.
And first down, Buffalo.
It's 1st and goal, Bills. The play stands. Fumble. Give it to Bennett on the recovery. Get Marino off. And the Bills are 2 yards away from tying the game. Now let's listen to this crowd and see if Kelly can hear what can get the signals out to his team, because the crowd is irate after that fumble call. Well, they get it off just fine. Touchdown, Kennebrew. One play. If anybody was going to knock him down, it would have been his own blocker in front of him. That's how big the hole was.
Or it might have been the goalpost. That was the only thing standing in his way. Kennebrew, after sitting the ear out a year ago, a real find for Marv Levy. They trimmed him down. He lost about 15 pounds. And he'll replace Rob Riddick in that short yardage situation. Riddick, with a torn patella tendon, is out for the year.
Norwood to attempt the extra point. He's hit 78 in a row.
79.
And a tie game with 11:58 remaining here in the third quarter. A big turnover. Fumble by Miami, recovered by the Bills. One play and in for Kennebrew. We're tied, and here comes Mark Logan. And there goes Mark Logan, short of the 20-yard line. Hit immediately by Butch Roll, a great special teams player. Not a bad dancer either after he makes that hit.
And the crowd is quieted down measurably here at Joe Robbie Stadium. Take another look at it. Watch the blocking on the right side by Metzelars and by Ballard. Kennebrew walks into the end zone. That middle, the soft spot of the Dolphin defense, we've talked about it most of the afternoon. And Buffalo taking advantage of it on the goal line.
Stratford and Brown make up the backfield. Marino right in the shotgun on first down. He's got a man wide open. It's the fullback Brown. He fumbles and recovers his own fumble, and that would have been disastrous. Ray Bentley knocked the ball away. Luckily for Brown, it bounced right back into his arms.
Brown, even though he's a fullback and one that did not start during the preseason until the fourth game, led this team in receiving during the preseason with 11 catches.
So they almost fumbled there. They did fumble on the possession before when Stratford got the ball, ripped apart, by Nate Odoms, recovered by Cornelius Bennett as it skipped loose. Boy, Stratford almost recovered that again.
Yeah, he did, but I agree with the officials. I think that's a clear case of a fumble
Second
on
down
the part
and
of
one.
Stratford.
Second and one. Freddie Banks in motion. Stratford, can he get away from Talley? Yes. That's what you call very patient running. And a first down, 12 yards.
It's also what you call panic running. He knows Sammy Smith may sign any day. This guy fumbled a week ago. He fumbled this afternoon. He's dropped a couple of passes. Now, we call this panic. Take a look at it. The play is supposed to go to the right side. 36 Brown trying to make the block, but he cuts it way back to the other side. It's good instinctive running, but again, it's a bit of a panic. Talley, the quick linebacker, number 56, has a shot on it, and a nice block downfield by Duper, the wide receiver, to get a few more yards for Stratford.
It's a tie game at 10-10. Buffalo jumps. Marino fires. Incomplete. Duper was wide open at the 47-yard line, and Marino delivers it too far to the right. But it looks like maybe for the third time the Bills have been jumped off or forced to jump off by Marino. Let's pause for station identification.
Number 76, defense.
This is the NBC television network. Jim Donovan and Jimmy Cefalo at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. Buffalo and Miami locked in a 10-10 tie on opening Sunday. AFC Eastern Division battle. Remember, Miami lost all of their AFC Eastern Division games last year. Trying to open up with a victory here against the Bills, who went 12-4 last year and have beaten Miami the last 4 times they've played.
Marino changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
1st and 5. First down. Farrell Edmonds makes the catch. Let's go to the 10-minute ticker now here in the second half of our ball game. Final score, Bears win. 49ers by 6, and New Orleans whitewashes the Cowboys. By 10, the Rams win. A late field goal and Tampa Bay wins. And Phoenix a victory over Detroit on an Al Del Greco field goal. Minnesota handling Houston in a surprise that it's that big. Philadelphia winning easily. The Jets have come with 10 points against the Patriots. But the Pats still lead by 11 in the third quarter. 1st and 10 Miami. From the 49-yard line, just inside Buffalo territory. Bentley was blitzing. Marino unloads. Incomplete at the 15-yard line. And there you see it once again. Nate Odoms involved in close coverage.
This time it's Freddie Banks going against Nate Odoms, but a very similar play. That is the Sunfield on that side of the field. And it seemed that both players had a bit of trouble looking back for the football, but Odoms involved, as you're right, a lot of close plays. Now, what's the difference between this call and the one where Duper gets the interference penalty? Doesn't seem much. Here, Odoms has great coverage. The ball is underthrown once again, but if there's a flag thrown, that might have been on the wide receiver and not the defensive back. Good play by Odoms.
9:57 left, third quarter. 2nd and 10. They go to Davenport. And he bangs for a couple of yards. He's brought down by Bruce Smith.
Smith beginning to exert himself. One of our key matchups today was Lewis Cheek, the second-year player, playing because John Giesler, the normal offensive tackle of the Dolphins, injured his knee a week ago. And Cheek has done a fairly good job against Smith, at least in the first half. Now Smith beginning to be a factor here.
A gain of 2 for Davenport as Ray Bentley comes out. I'll tell you a story about him in a second. It's now 3rd down and 8 from the 47-yard line. Jim Jensen into the lineup standing, blocking there for Marino in the backfield. And he picks up Bruce Smith. And Marino tried to squeeze it in the middle there, trying to get it to Stratford, but Leonard Smith was there, along with Dwight Train, to knock it away. Let's go back to Ray Bentley, the big linebacker. Ray Bentley, what does he do so well? He plays linebacker pretty well, and he writes children's stories. Let's visit with Darby. Darby the dinosaur.
Kind of oxymoronic, isn't it? A middle linebacker who writes children's stories.
This is a great book.
Well,
it's soon to be another book coming out. Nap Time with Darby is next.
Well, I can expect a linebacker to write a book called Nap Time with Darby, illustrated by another Buffalo Bill, Mike Hambry, does all the illustrations, but Bentley's the one who writes them.
Fair catch called for by Errol Tucker at the 10-yard line. And with 9:03 left to go in the third quarter, we step out. Bills will get the ball back. And a book is called Darby the Dinosaur. Written by Ray Bentley. And he's checking on book sales with his publisher, I think. Thurman Thomas, big run. Didn't want to go down out at the 25-yard line. A great block by the fullback, Jamie Mueller, to get him through. 14-yard pickup.
And this is what we expected of Buffalo throughout the contest. They did it in the first quarter and then got away from it in the second. But on that right side, he's going over Kent Hull, the center, Joe Devlin, the guard, the tackle is Howard Mallard, and they just outmanned the Miami defense, and that's been the soft spot. We mentioned earlier John Offerdahl, the all-pro for the Dolphins, is holding out. So is Mark Brown, but they might not be a matchup for the beef that is coming at the Miami defense.
1st and 10 for Kelly. Thomas comes out of the backfield in motion. They give it to Mueller. Dave Aarons is there to shut him down with the help of T.J. Turner. A reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. 8:07 left to go, third quarter. Mueller unpacks and goes back into the Bill huddle. 10-10. Buffalo gets a big break early in the third quarter on a Miami miscue, a Stratford fumble inside his 5-yard line. It took them one play from Larry Kinnebrew to tie the game up for Marv Levy's team. 2nd down and 8, 2-yard pickup by Mueller. Kelly looking for Thomas. Incomplete. Lewis Oliver on the coverage. Stride for stride. He was really in good shape with Thomas down at the Miami 30.
Well, the Bills got the matchup they wanted. The running back, quick running back, and Thomas going against the safety, but unable to hook it up. Interesting note, Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins, this past week cut a linebacker, a 6th-round draft choice named Wes Pritchard. Well, guess who picked up Pritchard? The Buffalo Bills did. And as Olivadotti told us yesterday, he was concerned that Pritchard was going to get many of the defensive signals for the Buffalo Bills. So he changed most of them during the week. There's Pritchard on the sideline. He's the only one from the developmental squad of the Bills to make the trip.
3rd down and 8. And they got him. Jeff Cross. Yard lost on the play. Kelly going to the sideline almost saying I couldn't hear, or they didn't hear me.
Take a look across number 91. Soche, number 70, also getting a lot of penetration. And Cross is playing as well as any defensive lineman for the Dolphins this year. Tom Olivadotti said, hey, he's our guy. If we're going to sack a quarterback like Kelly, it's got to be Jeff Cross.
John Kidd will bang it out from about 3 yards deep in his own end zone. Stratford back deep for the Dolphins. Big rush. They block it. Touchdown, Dolphins.
Take a look at it. Mark Logan was a Plan B free agent the Dolphins picked up this past year from Cincinnati. He comes nearly clean. At least it was Jensen who came across, and Logan who picks up the garbage and gets the touchdown. But once again, it's Jim Jensen, the man who does everything for Miami, who gets the penetration.
Stoyanovich is perfect with the extra point try. Mark Logan picks up the block punt of John Kidd and takes it in for the touchdown. Mr. Everything for Miami, Jim Jensen blocks it. Here it is.
Take a look at it. The Dolphins go straight up the gut. They overload it. Jensen slips the right guard on it, gets the block. David Fry, number 53, was already in there. And it's Logan who fights off Oliver to get the ball for the score.
There have been so many big plays in this game on turnovers that have really turned the game around. And Logan, the recipient of that one, and he takes it in for the touchdown. 17-10 Miami. And I'll tell you what, Jimmy, they'll get tougher to beat the longer that this crowd stays in the game like this.
Well, that's what happens to a football team. When you're a big favorite coming in someplace, you allow the other squad to get up on top. They really do feel they've got a shot at you, and with this kind of a crowd, the Dolphins are starting to believe they might be able to win this thing.
The last time Miami blocked a punt and took it in for a touchdown was November 11th, 1973. Well, now mark down September 10th. What year are we in? 89? 1989. And give the name Mark Logan as he scores. And now Buffalo is back to being behind by 7 as Ronnie Harmon takes it out. And again, a good run back by the Bills return man. Harmon brings it out this time to the 29-yard line. All right, let's check in around the NFL. On Sunday, number 1, third quarter scores. Minnesota leading. The Eagles over Seattle. And the Jets have climbed right back into that game at home against the Patriots. Now down by 4. The Raiders lost to quarterback Jay Schrader, and Steve Berline comes in, and he's leading them over San Diego. Cleveland 44-0. Their defense has played amazingly well in that game. Remember, Bud Carson, first game as head coach, going back to Pittsburgh, where he was the defensive coordinator in the great years with the Steelers. And Denver leading over Kansas City. Right here, it's 17-10 Miami. Harmon looking for room, and he finds it. Out to the 35-yard line. Louis Oliver makes the tackle. Chasing on the play was Greg Clark as the Bills go back to the running game. But once again, as Oliver hobbles a little bit getting up, they'll run, and they'll run effectively. Then they'll decide that they have to throw the ball, and the next thing they're in 3rd and 10, at 3rd and 9. I don't think that's where they want to be.
I'd be very surprised here if Marchibroda and Levy decide to go back to the passing attack. It's the running game. It was very successful in the first quarter, and now they're doing it again against the Dolphin defense. Why throw it?
2nd down and 3. Andre Reed in motion. They go back to Harmon, and they're right there to shut it down. T.J. Turner. Harmon thrown for the loss by T.J. Turner, who was right in the backfield when he got the handoff.
This is one of the few times that the Bills offense doesn't get it done. Take a look at him pulling from the backside. Will Wolford, number 73, goes past the charging T.J. Turner, and he has a clear gap to the running back.
Loss of 2 now. They're 3rd down and 5. Flip Johnson is at the bottom of your screen. They go 2 wideouts to the top as Kelly goes into the shotgun and sends Andre Reed in motion. 3rd and 5. Reed is open. The catch is made. He goes out of bounds at the 41-yard line. There's a flag down. Could they have picked off one of the Dolphin defenders in the secondary?
It's a great possibility. Number 80, that's Flip Johnson, looked a bit guilty as he walked back to the huddle. And there was a pick play on between Reed and between Johnson. Let's take a look at it. This is a very common play in the NFL. Now take a look, bottom of your screen. That's Johnson. He's trying to get a pick going, but it really isn't a pick at all because the defender goes around the pile. I don't see that. Probably is not the penalty. If that's the call, it is a poor one.
Holding number 49, defense, penalty decline, 1st down.
And instead it goes to William Judson, who had a hand on the receiver going inside against Johnson.
So it's a 1st down. Out to the 42-yard line. Judson nailed for the holding call. 5:18 left to go. 3rd quarter. The Bills trail by 7. Oh, a great run by Thurman Thomas and a 1st down. He banged off a couple of hits to get extra yardage inside Miami territory down to the 45-yard line, a 14-yard run.
You know why they're running to that side? They got Metzelaars, the big tight end over there, as well as Ballard and Devlin. It's like having 3 tackles on the same line of scrimmage. Thomas does the job, though. He slips a tackle by T.J. Turner and then does the rest himself. Hugh Green finally over to make the tackle. But that right side of the Buffalo Bills offensive line doing the job. And when they make somebody miss, like Thomas did on that play, they get the big gainer.
Thomas closing in on 100 yards today. 1st and 10 now at the Miami 45-yard line. Burkett comes in motion. And Thomas connects inside off the right side for about a 3-yard pickup. Let's go to Bob Costas in New York for an update.
All right, Jim, watch Randall Cunningham and Mike Quick operate at the vet. Cunningham, perhaps the game's most exciting QB, backpedaling, lofts it up, and Quick just takes it away from the defender Jenkins of Seattle, and the Eagles go up 24-7 in the third.
17-10 here. Miami leading over Buffalo. That's what's left in the third quarter. Buffalo has the ball. 2nd down, 7 in Miami territory. Wide open, Ronnie Harmon. And Jarvis Williams is having a heck of a time trying to track him down as Harmon takes it down close to the 25-yard line of Miami, a 20-yard pass play.
What the Bills are doing is taking Harmon and putting him outside there on the wing to force the safety to come over and try to make the cover. He was a good 15 yards off the ball when it was snapped, giving him all kind of room, and Harmon just made the quick turnout for the big gainer.
Bad news for the Dolphins defensively. They lose their rookie safety, Louis Oliver, or they were going to lose him. They had him with a twisted ankle, and he's going to try and play with it. Originally, we had heard that he was done for the day, but he's back in there, and he's going to try and go with it. Now Burkett comes in motion on 1st and 10. Harmon to the 20-yard line, and a late flag comes way from deep in the backfield, thrown into the pile. Dave Aarons over on the tackle as Harmon looks around. Buffalo gets nailed for holding. Nice luxury having a guy like Harmon in the lineup. He can receive, he can run, obviously. Remember, they lost Rob Riddick. He scored 14 touchdowns for them last year.
But they got 3 running backs who can run out of that tailback type position. Thomas, Harmon, and Davis. Kenneth Davis can also do the job. They're loaded at running back.
Now, we've heard a lot about Kenneth Davis, and yet we haven't seen him so far this afternoon.
The Bills are having much more success running to the right side behind Devlin, the veteran, and Howard Ballard than they are back to the left.
So it's 1st and 20 after the holding call. Thomas spreads out now to the top of the screen, leaving Mueller, the lone back in the backfield. Kelly a lot of time. That's going to be picked off and dropped. Judson had it. I'll tell you what he was trying to do. He knew he was going to pick it off, but he was more concerned about trying to stay in bounds, so it really didn't matter. He would have had to really sink out of bounds to make the catch.
That time, the Bills tried to do the same exact thing. They took the running back, Thurman Thomas, and split him out to the right side. The Dolphins countered by putting a linebacker over here. Take a look at it, though. You're absolutely right. Kelly has no place to go with the football. And Judson is trying to get his feet in at the same time as catch the football. He doesn't do either one of them.
So not in college or pro, he couldn't get his feet down.
He got sod on that.
3:06 left, third quarter. 2nd down, 20. Miami by 7. On a block punt for a touchdown by Mark Logan. Incomplete over the head of Andre Reed. Kelly and Reed have not been able to sync it up today. And that is Jim Kelly's favorite receiver right there. So to take that combination away, you're taking a lot away from their passing game.
Reed was a Pro Bowler from a year ago, and you can see the fire that's in Jim Kelly. Ted Marchibroda said before the game, hey, he reminds me a lot of Burt Jones when I had him in Baltimore. Same kind of guy, very accurate with the passing arm, real fiery, refuses to go down. Kelly's never missed a game as a pro because of injury in Buffalo.
Well, he's got a lot to get here. 3rd down and 20. He dumps it off, screen pass. Harmon with blocking. Well, he was about another step away from getting that 1st down. He gets down to the 20, maybe the 19-yard line. 14-yard pickup on the play. And it's Louis Oliver, twisted ankle and all, making the tackle.
That was a well set up screen, though. The Dolphins dropped back into a deep zone because it was so far to go for the 1st down. Great call. Take a look at the offensive lineman. Hitting first, number 51, Richard, gets out in front of it. So does Hull, number 67, the center. And they nearly get enough yards for the 1st down, but they're 2 yards shy.
Scott Norwood trying a field goal of 37 yards out of the hold of Kidd. Boy, he's very good, isn't he? That's like money in the bank. 37-yard field goal is good with 2:11 left to go here in the third quarter. 17-13 Miami. Its coverage of the World Cup Track and Field Championships. The world's great athletes have gathered in Barcelona, host city of the '92 Summer Olympic Games. Among those competing, Olympic gold medalist Roger Kingdom, world record holder Javier Sotomayor, the only man ever to break the 8-foot mark. Hampton on the return brings it out over the 25 out to the 26-yard line where Scott Radisek brings it down. Anyhow, the World Cup Track and Field Championships next Saturday right here on NBC. 2:01 left to go, third quarter. Marino back out there, 17-13. Their lead has been cut into a bit. It's down to 4. Incidentally, Scott Norwood's 37-yard field goal is his 9th in a row in regular season.
And Louis Cheek, the young man who had to fill in this week because of the injury to starter John Giesler, is going against Bruce Smith, perhaps the best defensive end in the entire NFL, doing quite a job today. We've not called his name once.
Marino going back. Cornelius Bennett coming in on him, and Marino had to unload it a little earlier than he wanted to, so he threw it right at the back of Tom Brown, who hadn't turned around yet.
Now, there's a stat that's a bit misleading. The Dolphins have gone 12 regular season games without a sack. The reason it's misleading is because Marino's release is so quick and he throws backpedaling so much that he doesn't give the receivers on occasion time to develop their patterns downfield. The Dolphins might be better off telling the Marino, you got to take a sack once in a while and not throw the ball so quickly. The receivers just aren't ready for that ball to come to him.
Well, with all of those people missing, Don Shula has had his team prepared for this opener against a very strong Buffalo team here this afternoon. In fact, so well that they lead by 4 with 1:55 to go, third quarter. Look at the time for Marino, and that's what happens when he gets it. Brown out to the 48-yard line and a first down on a 21-yard pass play. Injury back upfield. One of the Bills is down. It's Jeff Wright, a nose tackle, and it looks like his left knee. He's in some pain. He was really wincing with pain before the trainers got out there.
We talked about Louis Cheek earlier. Let's see what he did on this particular play as they attend to Jeff Wright. Cheek, number 77, top part of your screen. He's going against number 56, Darryl Talley there. And then coming off as he gets help on the inside to write Smith down. And Smith wanted a flag, and I don't blame him on the play.
I was just going to say, it looked like he got ripped out.
That's rodeo stuff going on there. The flag's got to fly. But meanwhile, Brown goes downfield, wide open across the middle of the field.
Yahoo right there, huh?
Uh-huh.
He rode him. Well, whatever gets it done, I guess, for Louis Cheek. There he is. Boy, what a... Do you think a sleepless night for him last night, knowing that he was going up against Bruce Smith?
Nightmares of Bruce Smith. But, you know, it's not holding if you don't get caught.
Yeah. In the meantime, Jeff Wright, his right knee, it appears, and now he's flexing it, so that's a good sign. This telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League, and it is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Miami Dolphins and the National Football League is prohibited. This game is the property of the National Football League, the Miami Dolphins, and the Buffalo Bills, all rights reserved. Jim Donovan and Jimmy Cephalo from Joe Robbie Stadium. Mr. Touchdown there, Mark Logan appears to be shaken up. Jim Jensen blocked a punt on a big one-hopper, then it went way up in the air. Logan scooped it up just about at the 3-yard line of Buffalo and took it in for a touchdown, and that's the difference in the game right now. There's the guy that blocked it. And Jeff Wright up and walking off under his own power, a very good sign.
Wright is a nose tackle who gets after the quarterback. He had 5 sacks in 1988, which is highly unusual for a nose tackle, and he seems to be all right standing along the sideline. Nose tackles and knee injuries go hand in hand. There's so many cut blocks down there when you're getting it from the guard coming from one side or the guard coming from the other side. It's part of life in the NFL for a nose tackle.
They're out at the 49-yard line, the Dolphins are. It's 1st and 10 with 1:20 to go, third quarter. This is Duper. He's got it down in Buffalo territory at the 42-yard line. He was pushed out by Nate Odoms.
Watch Duper working one-on-one. He's got such terrific speed that Odoms has got to rely on that deep coverage. He's worried about it. Here he works him inside. uses the arm under technique, and Marino threw that ball, flicked it nearly underhand. But they've played together now for about 6 years, and Duper and Marino know each other as well as any quarterback-wide receiver combination in football.
Mark Duper and Nate Odoms, that's been a battle all day long, hasn't it? And Duper won that one with the help of this guy. Second down and 2, an 8-yard pickup. Banks in motion, Brown trying to dive and get it. Look at the push by Tom Brown. And who's that pushing him right there? Harry Galbraith kind of pushing him along the way. Let's see if they give him the first down. First down Miami, I believe, down at the 40-yard line. Let's go to the scoreboard right now and check in on other games. 31-7 Vikings. Boy, that's a surprise, isn't it? Houston's so good.
They are by that many points. Minnesota, and again, it's a case, though, of the NFC doing a pretty good job against the strong AFC club, but it's early in the season.
Jets have cut it to 4 against the Patriots after they were down 21-0. Look at that Cleveland score at Pittsburgh. Must be a fun day in Three Rivers. First and 10 Miami, and Tom Brown makes the catch, and Shane Conlon rips him down right by the hips and brings him down at the 36-yard line after the catch.
The Bills sent Ray Bentley on the play, our lovable Mr. Darby Dinosaur rider. And Marino again had to throw backpedaling away to get away from Darby. Or Bentley, that is.
Well, they're one and the same. That's the end of the third quarter. And the Miami crowd very pleased at opening day so far. At the end of 3 quarters of play, the Dolphins pulling an upset here at home, beating the Bills by 4. We'll be back.
Dear Dad, I know you didn't want me to put off college for the Army, but Dad, I'm learning things.
For Buffalo, I'm Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cefalo. Thank heavens we have a stoppage in the action right now to give you a fashion note. New pants on the Dolphins this year, an aqua pants.
Yeah.
First time in 24 years that they've made a major change. Yeah.
You know, it's surprising. Don Shula here in the heat in Miami. Normally, home teams will wear dark jerseys. Well, Don Shula in this heat in Miami knows that if you put the opposing team in the dark jerseys, the heat will be absorbed, and it'll be a hotter day for you. So a bit of a surprise that he allowed the team to go to the dark pants. However, if they needed a change, they were hoping that a change of pants might change the prospects for this team as they have gone steadily downhill over the past couple of years. But right now, Don Shula seems to have them going in the right direction.
If they win, he'll wear aqua pants next week.
Want to bet?
Marino, 17 of 27 for 162 yards. And his team in a 4-point lead. A rollout away from pressure. He's starting to hit that fullback, Tom Brown, a lot. He's done it a lot here in the second half. 10 yards and a first down for Miami inside the Buffalo 30-yard line to the 27.
Well, Tom Brown led the team in receiving during the preseason with 11 catches. Here's a good story. This young man out of Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, a badly torn knee ligament. He now has a transplanted ligament in his knee. That doesn't stop him. He's turned into quite a blocker and apparently a pretty darn good receiver as Bentley, number 50, finally comes over to make the tackle. He's so wide open because with the kind of offense the Dolphins have, they've got to try and double-team people like Duper and Banks and Edmonds, leaving the fullback underneath wide open.
Brown comes out. Davenport is in there blocking with Marino. Intercepted by Nate Odoms. And Buffalo gets a big turnover as Miami throws the ball away. Nate Odoms wins this battle against Duper down at the 15-yard line. It will be first down after the interception. Odoms, with arms raised, ran it back 5 yards.
The blitz was coming on Marino, and he had a receiver wide open, but it wasn't the guy on the outside. It was the man inside. Take a look at the inside receiver. Watch how wide open he is, but you know, Marino and Duper have hooked up so many times in the past. Duper got jammed at the line of scrimmage. A nice play by Odoms, and that is what prevented the reception from taking place. Duper was just turned around on the play. He's got to get a clean release. Odoms, on the other hand, doing a great job of getting his hands on him at the line of scrimmage, turning it to an interception.
Nate Odoms is going to hold on to that football, Jimmy. He's also forced a fumble in this game. Remember, he forced the fumble on Troy Stratford that got Buffalo their only touchdown of the day when Kinnebrew took it in. All right, Marino will have to watch now as his defense will try and hold on to that 4-point lead. Kelly with the play-action fake. He got it off. No, they're going to say he was down. Thomas made the catch. Jerry Markwright rules that Kelly is down. A very popular decision here at Joe Robbie Stadium. Not popular there, though.
Well, you know, you can't have it both ways. This rule is put in to protect the quarterbacks, and Marv Levy understands that. So does Ted Marchibroda. It's put in to protect the quarterback. There was a rash of injuries to the quarterback through the years. They put in this play to try to protect him, and he really is in the grasp by number 70, Brian Sauché.
A loss on the play of 7 yards. It's second down at 17, and now they have to be careful. They're back inside their own 10. Jamie Mueller has it. He fumbles. They fumble it again, and Ballard had it. I believe he lost it. Miami says they've recovered. Let's see. They have Dolphin ball. Greg Clark.
Greg Clark, the Plan B free agent who came over to the Dolphins from the Bears. He might not be starting if those two, the all-pro linebacker Offerdahl is in the lineup for Miami, but with a fumble recovery like that, he'll take it. Let's take a look at the end of the play. The ball kicked around quite a few times. Ballard, number 75 for Buffalo, had a shot on it, but it slips away, falls out to the right side, and it was just a fortunate bounce for Greg Clark of the Dolphins.
Second life for Marino after he threw the ball away. Stratford fumbles. Did Buffalo get it back? Let's see. Derek Burrows has the football, and the Bills get it back. What a turnaround. And Stratford's second fumble of the game deep. And this one really hurts.
And he was running a bit scared, it seemed. You know, trying to bounce around. The ball hanging out on the right side. He's a very daring runner, and doing so because he's had trouble today. You know, you want to make a good impression after you fumble the football. But, hey, you got to hang on to it. And Burrows gets it right back for Buffalo. Let's take another look at it from a different angle at it. And it was Cornelius Bennett who helped pop it away. Another linebacker comes from the inside. That's Shane Conlon, number 58, who forced the fumble. Burrows gets it back.
Kelly and the Bills get it back, so they're breathing a big sigh. And Thomas runs it out and quiets his crowd a bit. Out to the 15-yard line. Flag is down on the play. Initial call is that it's going against the Bills as we wait for the call by Jerry Markbright.
Holding, number 88, offense.
Metzelaar is the tight end.
Going back to the play where Jerry Markbright called Jim Kelly in the grasp just prior to the first fumble. You know, most head coaches, and I would imagine Marv Levy would agree, would rather an official err on the side of help for the quarterback. It might have been a quick whistle, but at least they have a Jim Kelly remaining and healthy.
Pete Metzelaar is the tight end, nailed for that holding call. Ball is back at the 5-yard line. First down, 15. Jamie Mueller. And with the rash of fumbles, did you see Mueller really corral that football and tuck it away, and he runs out to the 10-yard line, picking up 5 yards. Tackle made by Rick Graff.
And this is a bit of a new wrinkle for the Buffalo offense. A year ago, Mueller only carried the ball 81 times. He started 15 of the 16 games for him. But you're absolutely right. Take a look at it. This is the way they teach you how to run with the football in high school. He gets through the line into traffic and covers it up with both hands. He wasn't going to take any chance down inside the 10-yard line.
He saw Graff coming at him, and that's when he put the other arm around it. 18 yards for Mueller. He was the victim of a fumble on the last possession. 12:35 left regulation time. Buffalo down by 4. That's up for grabs. Jarvis Williams almost scooped it up. Judson made the hit on Andre Reed, and it popped up in the air, and Williams almost made a fingertip catch.
It's great timing on the part of William Judson. He gets around what might be called a pick. Take a look at it as Reed comes to the inside. Judson gets turned around for just a second, comes around some traffic, and then times it perfectly as he gets there just as the ball arrives to Andre Reed.
Third down and 10 from their own 10. Kelly now battling the crowd here. A lot of time. And Andre Reed cannot make the catch. It's an overthrow at the 40-yard line. And the Bills must punt deep in their own territory. And listen to the hand for the Dolphin defense. Like a proud papa, Tom Olivadati, who's been under fire in Miami because the defense has been porous. They've played a sensational game so far. Good punt by John Kidd. Stratford hangs on and goes out to the 40-yard line. If he had 5 arms, he would have put them all around as he takes it out to the 41-yard line, and that's where Miami will begin. That's the story from Joe Robbie Stadium. 12 minutes and 10 seconds left.
Opportunity. He said last year he was upset because he didn't get enough opportunities with the football. He can't complain about that today. He coughed the ball up in preseason, and he's coughed it up a couple of times already today. I think he's probably concerned, wondering what his future is going to hold. Sammy Smith has been breathing down his back. When he came into preseason, Smith was on the depth chart.
Block, number 88. While the kick was in the air, penalty from the beanbag spot. First down, timeout.
Oh, the old beanbag spot. There's Bruce Kinchin. He got nailed. We'll be right headlines, watching, hoping that the Buffalo Bills defense can hold serve, get the ball away from Dan Marino, and that they can get back out on the field and take the lead. There's 12-10 left. Fourth quarter. I'm Jim Donovan along with Jimmy Cephalo. Miami pulling an upset here on opening day, and Farrell Edmonds, the tight end, makes the quick catch over the 30 to the 34. Around the NFL on Sunday number 1, Minnesota blowing out Houston, and the Eagles winning, and the Jets came from 21-0 down to take over from the Patriots. Now the Raiders in control. Look at that. Cleveland 51, Pittsburgh nothing, and Denver beating Kansas City 34-20 in the fourth. 17-13, we've got a beauty. The Dolphins holding on to a 4-point lead. Troy Stratford. There's a flag down over the 35 to the 36-yard line. And we'll check the call out. Holding Miami.
Number 78 Smith doing a little bit of complaining. We showed earlier where Cheek, we thought he was doing such a great job, and he has been.
Holding, number 61, offense, second down.
That'll go against Roy Foster, number 61. But Cheek a little bit earlier got the corral job going on Bruce Smith. This time Foster flagged for it.
Let me check the ball carrier. That was Lorenzo Hampton carrying on that. In the backfield, and the fullback out of Pittsburgh.
The end zone. Watch Brown. He checks down very late, comes out of the backfield, waits to try and help that tackle on the right side of your screen. Yards to get the first down. Brown got 12 of them back.
Davenport checks in to the Miami backfield. Tight end Bruce Kinchin. One and a half yards to go, and Marino calls a timeout.
It's a situation where Don Shula usually likes to play action.
Win to say win. And by AT&T, the right choice.
Big play, third down. 1.5 yards to go for Miami. 10:15 left in regulation time. They lead by 4 over Buffalo. Let's see what Marino does. 3 tight ends in the game. That's one of them in motion. Oh, what a leap by Hampton and a first down to the 40-yard line. All right, let's go to New York. Bob Costas with this NFL update.
All right, Jim, you were remarking a moment ago on the Jets' comeback, down 21-0 at the half. They seized the lead in the fourth quarter, 24-21 against the Pats, after this 49-yarder from Ken O'Brien to a wide-open JoJo Townsend. But now, with just over 2 minutes remaining, the Pats have the ball. They're driving inside the Jet 10.
9:42 left to go. And it's 1st and 10 for Miami. Hampton gets the call. Tripped up in the backfield. Ray Bentley makes the trip up of Hampton and knocks him down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
And also Freddie Smurl is someone we've not talked a lot about today. Coming inside, take a look at him. Number 76, Freddie Smurl, is all-pro right in the middle of your screen, working against Jeff Dellenbach and the guard. He goes right past Galbraith, and that's what makes the play. Bentley comes over to mop up afterwards, but it's Fred Smurl, the wily veteran, who gets the penetration.
So it's 2nd down and 10. Shotgun formation for the Dolphins. And Marino, but he won't run. Incomplete. Ball thrown just a little bit low, and Duper couldn't pull it off the grass.
3rd and 10.
And I know that Marino look. It's not a happy thought. It's not.
Hot at himself or hot at Duper?
Now he's mad at Duper on that play. He thought Duper should have come up with the football a little bit low. That's a catch that the receiver's got to make.
So Marino looks it over. Now he's got 3rd and 10. 8:51 left to go. They would dearly love to keep the drive going, take some more time off this clock, and keep Kelly and the Bills offense on the sideline, give their own defense some rest.
Well, it's been those checkdowns, the running backs underneath that have been the big plays for the Miami Dolphins. Jim Jensen is in the backfield. He's the guy that Marino likes in these situations.
4 wide receivers for Marino to go with. Oh, he threaded the needle perfectly, and it's caught. Andre Brown, the rookie out of Miami, makes the catch. Boy, did he get that ball in there between 3 defenders, and a first down, 24-yard pass play to the Buffalo 36.
When Marino needs to get it done, he certainly finds a way to do it. Andre Brown's getting single coverage again today. He thought about going to Jensen, but Jensen gets picked up because they've been successful with it in between one defensive back and over another. And Marino gets the great play right around Chris Hale, number 26.
1st and 10 Miami. 8:08 left. Cruising through is Lorenzo Hampton, and Hampton now becomes the hot ball carrier for them, and he takes it down to the 30-yard line.
Well, under these circumstances, one thing about Don Shula, if you fumble the football for him, you're going to sit on the sideline. Stratford had the opportunity today, coughed it up a couple of times, and that left the door open for Hampton.
Well, you know, you got to wonder another thing. He's got to have fumble on the brain, too. Stratford, I mean. And so, you know, his confidence is a little bit shook. You don't want the ball in his hands right now.
No, you're absolutely right. Don Shula, one of the absolutes for Don Shula is don't cough up the football. That's why Lorenzo Hampton is in here as they start this final drive with 7.5 minutes left.
2nd down and 4. And Hampton does not get the first down that time as he gets inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line. Bruce Smith, one of the few times really we have called his name today, makes the tackle. Let's go to the scoreboard right now.
1 yard.
Check out Sunday number 1 on our 10-minute ticker. Vikings still leading. Jets leading by 3, but as Bob Costas told you on our update, they were driving, the Patriots were, to try and retake that lead. Other games, Raiders with 40 points, Cleveland with 51. Where's the defense? Actually, a lot of the points scored by Cleveland today came from their defense. 17-13 here with 6:45 left to go in the fourth quarter. And it's 3rd down and 3 for Marino. Great protection, and he rifles a strike right in there. And it's Andre Brown again, and Brown is becoming a favorite of Marino very quickly.
What has happened is that the Buffalo defense, because of all those little check down patterns to the running back of the Dolphins, have moved up to try to take that away. That leaves Andre Brown one-on-one to run through the secondary.
15-yard pass play. Marino starting to get in that rhythm right now, isn't he?
Yeah, He's like a good baseball pitcher. He gets into a rhythm, takes the same amount of snaps, will throw it off his back foot, but he is sharp this afternoon.
You can almost tell when he gets in it. He drops back, same amount of time, swings those hips, and rifle strikes. 5:58 left. Hampton, nothing there, goes outside. Inside the 10-yard line, down to the 9. Darryl Talley is in on the tackle along with Leonard Smith. So when they had to pull Stratford, they found an ace in Hampton today.
Well, also that right side of the Miami offensive line doing a good job. Number 72, Ronnie Lee, and Harry Galbraith, the right side, starting to cave it in over there. Take a look at it. It's also Farrell Edmonds, number 80. Brown, number 36, leading through the hole. A good block on the linebacker there, and Lorenzo Hampton does the rest.
Buffalo's defense has got to be saying, right now, we've got to hold them to a field goal. 5:15 left. The difference in the game is 4. Miami in the lead. Oh, that's a nightmare right there. And Marino juggled the snap all the way up and was lucky to hold on. That's Bruce Smith on filing. And Leon Seals, too.
A field goal would allow Buffalo to get their offense back on the field within striking distance. The ball slips right through. It's hot out there. It's humid. It's very sticky. This happens on occasion. Marino pulled back just a little bit too soon. And gratefully for the Dolphins, it just popped right back up into his arms, but a dangerous play. Buffalo's defense has been out there a lot this afternoon. This humidity, they're getting a little bit winded.
3rd down, 4 yards to go. Inside the 10 at the Buffalo 9-yard line. Jensen joins Marino in the backfield right now. Into the end zone, touchdown, Andre Brown. There's a flag down, but it won't matter. They had grabbed Brown. That's a score.
Touchdown.
Will try and tack on the extra point. It's good. Imagine he wasn't drafted, Andre Brown. And he comes on today in the 4th quarter, and the rookie makes this touchdown catch, and Miami's in control.
There is a point at which all things must evolve. For small cars, that point is here. Introducing the Mazda Protege, a small car that's expansive in room, powerful, and born of Kansei engineering, so the way it feels will change the way you feel about small cars. The new Protege from Mazda.
It just feels right.
High school is just like a memory because...
So I went waiting to see Caroline, right?
No.
She wasn't there.
Every time I went to the prom, the girl was taller than me. I don't want to talk about it.
No, I said I'd like to find a dress. And she said, is this for your daughter or for your wife?
It's for my wife.
You know why we don't talk about women? You only talk about things you know about, right?
Levi's 100% cotton Dockers. If you're not wearing Dockers, you're just wearing pants.
Dog pile on John! Yeah!
The lights on these cars are running on battery power alone. And in the end, only one, the car with the new Die Hard battery, our most powerful ever, is able to start. Great low prices every day, Die Hard power. That's your money's worth and a whole lot more.
Attention, football widows.
They're on the return, and pretty good special teams work by Miami. They are fired up. Lifford Hobley comes in to make the tackle on Tucker, a 15-yard return, and Buffalo starts short of their 20 at their own 17-yard line, trailing by 11, 24-13. They've got some making up to do.
Andre Brown, the ironic part about that, a free agent here in camp, had Mark Clayton, the All-Pro, not been a holdout, he probably would not have made the team. And here on opening day at Joe Robbie Stadium, he becomes the hero thus far.
Jim Kelly on 1st down, down by 11 points. He throws high. It's incomplete, intended for Ronnie Harmon. Let's go to New York, an NFL update with Bob Costas.
Jim, at the Meadowlands, the Patriots reclaim the lead. A 31-yard pass from Eason to Cedric Jones sets it up. Then it's Reggie Dupard off tackle, cutting back 5 yards for the score. But they missed the extra point, leaving them only 3 points ahead and giving the Jets a chance to tie if they can hit a field goal. Jets have the ball with 45 seconds to go.
Ooh, those extra points. It is 2nd down and 10 after the Kelly incompletion. He steps up, he fires, he's got Flip Johnson, a great pass and catch by Johnson out over the 35 to the 36-yard line, and Lewis Oliver, playing with a twisted ankle, comes in and rocks Johnson after he made the catch.
Yeah, Buffalo goes to the hurry-up offense, down by 11 points. They've got to put 2 scoring drives together with just 3:40 left in the game.
So they go right back to work after a 19-yard pass play, and he connects this time with Andre Reed, and that's what's been missing from their attack all day long. Go back to the first half when Reed dropped what looked like a sure touchdown strike from Kelly.
That seemed to begin the problems for the Buffalo offense. They had been running the ball extremely well. They go play action fake. Perfect throw by Jim Kelly, dropped by Andre Reed. And since then, this Buffalo offense has not done well.
3:31 left in regulation time. The catch is made by Thomas. He's going to try and get out of bounds and pick up yardage, and does both very well as Oliver was trying to chase him, and he gets it inside the Miami 40-yard line now, down to the 38, and they move closer, plus they're really conserving that clock.
If you're sitting home in Buffalo and saying, wait a minute, why weren't they doing this all day? Well, that's not quite fair, because Miami's defense is now playing well off the ball. They're willing to give that underneath stuff to Jim Kelly, and that's the reason for these big pickups.
Marv Levy, Ted Marchibroda, the offensive coordinator. How do you get 11 points in a hurry? They need that to tie. Reed pulls it down inside the 30. He's brought down by Rodney Thomas at the 27-yard line. Clock running. They must hustle. 12-yard pickup and a first down. Coming up to 3 minutes remaining. Kelly out of the shotgun. Takes a look, end zone, Flip Johnson, touchdown Buffalo! A beautifully orchestrated drive by Kelly to get them right back in the game.
And a big surprise that Johnson was given man-to-man coverage down the sideline. In this situation, you think that the Dolphins go with the deep, heavy back zone. But here, it's Paul Langford, number 44, and he's got to take Johnson one-on-one right to the end zone. A great throw by Kelly just over the outstretched arms of number 44 Langford. Marchibroda said it before the contest. Jim Kelly is as accurate as any quarterback in the NFL.
Norwood out of the hold of Kidd. It's good. And it's a 24-20 Miami lead after the touchdown catch by Flip Johnson with 2:50 remaining in regulation time. We'd like to welcome those of you who have just joined us. Our score right now, the Dolphins leading by 4 over Buffalo, 24-20. Immediately following the game, stay tuned for the magical world of Disney and the entire NBC primetime lineup. So stay with us, but right now, settle back and watch this one. 2:50 left, regulation time. Marv Levy's Buffalo Bills came in here a 4-point favorite and a heavy pick in the AFC Eastern Division, but knew that they would have a tough time here in the heat against Miami. Miami vastly undermanned because of contract disputes, not signing Sammy Smith, holdouts, and yet they have come up with a fabulous defensive performance and all-around performance by their team today, and Shula has had them ready.
On that play, the Buffalo Bills took only 127 to go 82 yards, 6 plays, and the touchdown. And Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator there for the Dolphins, was hoping to try and force Jim Kelly to spend a little bit more time, even if he was going to get a touchdown. And that's what he's exhorting his troops right now on.
Olivadotti keeping them pumped up. Scoreboard time, Vikings leading. And the Patriots win that game 27-24 after almost blowing a 21-0 lead. They did blow the lead, but came back and were able to tell about it. The Raiders laying it on. The Browns laying it on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. And Denver's a winner over Marty Schottenheimer's Kansas City Chiefs, as opening day for Marty Schottenheimer as head coach of the Chiefs is in the L column. Mark Logan and Lorenzo Hampton ready to accept the Norwood kickoff in a 24-20 Miami lead late here in the fourth quarter. It's Logan. And he brings it out to the 24-yard line. He's tackled by Dwight Frame. Also in on the tackle, Keith McKellar, a tight end, 20-yard run back. Now, you've seen these conferences, Marino and Shula.
Normally, you would think that a team here would try and run the football. That's not a given with the Miami Dolphins. The short passing game with Marino is almost as good as the quick handoff. They've got to try and eat some time off this clock, get a couple of first downs, plenty of time left for the Buffalo Bills. They're certainly not out of it. 2:40 left and down by just 4 points.
Surveying the situation, Dan Marino, 25-yard line, gives it off. Hampton struggles to get a couple of yards out to the 25 with 2:32 remaining in regulation time, and the Bills, I believe, will use a timeout. Yes, they do.
That's a smart move, trying to use the 2-minute warning as yet another timeout. It's like having an extra one in the bank. Now, Marino in this situation usually likes to throw the football, even though it's second down and they just want to try and run out as much time as they can. They've got enough confidence in him to let him throw the short balls. 2 timeouts for both Buffalo and Miami remaining.
A gain of 1 on that last play, second down and 9. Now, the conference continues between Marino and Shula. Who's doing a lot of the talking over there, and who will make the decision?
The decision is purely Don Shula's. You notice we have not mentioned Gary Stevens a lot, the offensive coordinator who came over from the University of Miami. He's still trying to pick up this pro game, the pro offense, dealing with the players. Don Shula has always made the offensive calls for the Dolphins. He will continue to do so.
Next Sunday, join NBC for more great football beginning at 12:30. Bob Costas, O.J. Simpson, and NFL Live. Then NBC presents regional coverage of some great hard-hitting games. The Dolphins and Patriots from New England. Eric Dickerson leads his Colts into L.A. to battle his former team, the Rams. Check local listings for the game and time in your area. NBC football, it's a whole new ball game. 2:31 left. Regulation time, 24-20. Miami leading over the Bills. Miami with the ball, second down and 9. A lot of movement there. And flags fly.
We pulling or not?
Well, it looks like the Dolphins pulled out quickly. About 3 guys from their offensive line.
For very good reason. That's Cheek, number 77, the youngster going against Smith. The reason for it, hey, Smith might have whispered to him, look, I'm coming, pal. You know I'm coming here.
But could that have signified that that was a pass play, them pulling out quickly like that?
Of course. And if you take a look at Cheek on this play, he may be back on his haunches. It's a clear indication. And as he gets older and plays more, this offense will realize you can't do it that way.
Well, now it's second down and 14, and they're a little bit deeper back at their 19-yard line, and Marino is back. And he connects. And a big first down to Farrell Edmonds. 17 yards.
The Dolphins think that Farrell Edmonds could be the tight end of the 1990s with good reason. 6'6", 252. Quite a bit of speed. Watch him curl inside and make the catch. They've cleared up that vision problem he had early on in his career. The reason he went in the 3rd round, because he didn't hang on to the football. He does it there, beating Leonard Smith, number 46, over the middle.
Buffalo uses another timeout, so they have 1 left. But remember, they'll also get 1 at the 2-minute warning. So with 2:17 remaining, Dan Marino to the sidelines. A very populated discussion over there. Everybody's got their helmet in this one.
Now, the difference in this game, remember, we go back just a couple of minutes. That block punt by Jim Jensen, number 11 in your screen. Here it was. Jensen breaking through, and it's Logan, number 20, who comes up with the touchdown, but the special teams contributing here. The Miami Dolphin 4-point lead, and that has been the difference in the game thus far.
It's a final score now. The Raiders open up with a 40-14 win over the San Diego Chargers, and another new head coach, Dan Henning, opens up with a loss.
Now the Dolphins, with that big first down, now can go back to the running game if they choose to. With 2:17 left in the game, they'll either force the Bills to use up their last timeout or go to the 2-minute warning.
1st and 10. The ball is at their own 38. after that huge pass to Ferrell Edmonds. This is Tom Brown. No gain at all. Smothered by Bentley, by Talley, and by Bruce Smith. Clock is running down, and they'll get that 2-minute warning timeout that I told you about. At no charge. That one belongs to the NFL. What's remaining? Buffalo has 1. If they could cash in and pay for a couple more, they would, because they're in trouble with 2 minutes remaining in the game. They trail by 4 to Miami, 24-20. So the difference there tells you they need a touchdown, and they need some time, and they need the ball back, and that's the most important thing, and they don't have it.
We go back to that old Dolphin pattern. First down, nothing on the running game. Now it's 2nd and 10. Look for Marino to throw the football. Something very cautious, of course, a little short passing game that Marino is so successful with. But you know what Marv Levy's doing? He's revving up Cornelius Bennett and Bruce Smith, and that will not bode well for that young Miami offensive line.
Here comes Marino. This crowd, and it is not a sellout, in fact, far short of a sellout, but they have sounded as though the place was full and have been pulling for their Dolphins all day long against a powerful Bills team. It is 2nd and 10. The quick pass. Hampton makes the catch, tries to spin out, but Mark Kelso knocks him down. Kelso out of William & Mary, 7 interceptions last year, but he's been hurt through the preseason.
And the Bills will take their final timeout.
All right, we'll be back right after this timeout. 4:20, Jim Jensen comes in. Marino's in, of course. And when Jensen comes in, you know it's 3rd down, and it is 3rd and 8.
Jensen is, in his career, has about an 85% completion percentage on 3rd down conversions. So you can bet that the Buffalo Bills are going to pay extra attention to him.
1:52 remaining. Buffalo is out of timeouts. They've got to get the ball back, so they have to defend here on 3rd down and 8. Big rush. And a big interception. Nate Odoms. And he goes down at the midfield stripe. You talk about big turnovers. Nate Odoms just came up with it. His 2nd interception of the game, and that look tells it all.
Hey, you live by the pass, it comes back to bite you. Marino had Jim Jensen wide open in the flat. He elected to go downfield, but Odoms beats the receiver across the formation. Take a look at it. Conlon, number 58, going right up the gut. Marino had Jensen in the flat wide open. Odoms has played quite a day today, going against Cooper. That time he wins the battle.
The 49-yard line of Buffalo, 1st and 10. Kelly without timeouts, down by 4 points. He's got a man caught. Chris Burkett makes the catch. They're into Miami territory at the 42. Remember, they're out of timeouts. 1:33 and it's running. And they're right up to the line of scrimmage. Big rush from the blind side. He got it off to Thomas. 1st down at the 36.
Kelly calling the plays at the line of scrimmage. He called 2 in the huddle to begin the drive, but now he's got an audible at the line. And with this crowd, it might be difficult to do.
Down to 1:05 remaining. And he connects again. That's 3 in a row. Rodney Thomas smothers Burkett after he makes the catch. Under a minute. No timeouts. I mean, he really, at this point, might be worth throwing an incompleted pass to stop the clock. Kelly, he's got Johnson. He threw it high at the 11-yard line. For a brief second, number 80 was wide open.
It was wide open, and Kelly put it right between the 2 defenders. The Bills made a tactical error, though. They spent too much time at the line of scrimmage. What Kelly did was he changed the strength of the formation. The backs had a switch, the receivers had a switch, and so did the tight end. It cost them 5 or 6 seconds.
41 seconds remaining. Miami nursing a 4-point lead. That's Don Shula, along with Tom Olivedani. He's got the headset. But this guy's got control of the ball game right now. He's got another man picked out. It's Thurman Thomas down to the 20. They'll mark him at the Miami 19-yard line with a half-minute left.
Kelly's got to throw the ball out of bounds. If he doesn't have a play call now, he's got to throw it out. The clock is ticking. He's taking too much time at the line.
23 seconds. Kelly steps up. He's got Andre Reed. Down to the 5. They'll mark him back at the 6-yard line, but time is running. Look at this, 12 seconds. 7. Down to 5. He takes the snap and drills it down into the ground with 2 seconds left.
And there'll be a flag on the play because one of the Dolphins did not get back. Kelly is under no obligation to wait for him to do so. Smart play by Jim Kelly. He's completely within the rules just to take it and throw it right into the ground.
Well, with 2 seconds left to go, it's down to this. Touchdown wins it. Anything short of that, Miami's got it. What a finish here at Joe Robbie Stadium. 24-20 Dolphins. 2 seconds left. The ball at the 8-yard line of Miami. All right, one play does it. Mark Gibrota just tells Marv Levy, here's what we're going to run. Let's watch. 2 seconds left. They have to get into the end zone, and Kelly now turns and says, I can't hear. He's going to